Yo, 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 yo. What is up, peeps? So, let me get a few things set up here today. You know, some people do like these starting soon screens. Maybe I should do one of those. I've actually got one of those starting soon screens, but I don't use it. So, I'm just going to do a few little checks over here on a few other things, and then hopefully we can get into the action today and talk about some new stuff. Let's see here. Yo, yo, yo. What's up? What's up? What's up? See a couple of folks already swinging on into the live stream. I tried to make it known today that I was going to be streaming on at least the YouTubes or the YouTube's post, and then obviously on the on Twitter. Been trying out some Twitter. So how is everyone doing today? Been seeing some kind of cool stuff kind of going on in the scene. We're going to have to take a look at some of these things in just a little bit here today. Let's see here. Let's go to this. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Sweet, 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 sweet. Loading up the PlayStation. Whee! Got that little blue light. Sorry, my throat is kind of junky at the moment. So, so yeah. Let's switch over to this. Okay. Go to this screen. Let's just jump over to this one right here. By the way, before we kind of get into talking about some stuff, did you all know that you can simply go into your power here and then go up to sound, and then you can change this brightness level all the way to like dim, and then change this time right here to when you want it to turn off to be like 10 minutes. This greatly extends your battery life. Just throwing in that little tip as we're kind of getting into things here today. I hope everyone is doing super well. All right. Okay, so let's see what we have going on here today. What's up? What's up? Hi. What's happening? Renzo. Things are going pretty well for me today. Yeah. I'm actually exactly on time. It's 1 o'clock. Well, 1 o'clock my time. So, I'm pretty happy that I did that. Burke. Berke. Ha ha. Ha ha. Sup. Patsky. Hey Mike, how can I see my games on my USB hard drive on PC? Yeah, so to kick that one off, just make sure that, are you talking about your installed games? So games that you've already installed, like on your external hard drive. So anyway, exFAT is typically the format that will help you out with that. Hey there, Tom. Let's see. Can PS5 controller work on PS4? I think they do work on PS4. I've never tried because, unfortunately, I can't get a PlayStation 5. I still can't get one. And even though I have that pretty fun little guide that talked about how to get one, I got shadow banned, or not shadow banned. I got the temp ban from Amazon. And well, since I have other family members here, they totally were not game for me losing my Amazon account. So I decided to not go any further than that. Burke says, Did you try the free shop store? So are you talking about the free? You're talking about the Homebrew store that's in PlayStation 4, or the free shop going back to Nintendo DS and some of those things? And if so, yes to both. Lots of fun there. Hi, Knife Pro. It's working on console, browser, and PC browser. Awesome. I'm guessing you're referring back to the hard drive? No, that was a different person. Like up, hey, can you make a video about kernel editing? Interesting there, Pixel. Um, would you be interested in seeing like how people are creating the binaries or payloads? There's actually a really cool example. Most of that stuff's already open source, and so you can always view, but there is a couple of samples of how people were putting together and they were building payloads. There's one for disable updates, which we may look at just right over here in just a second. Let's see here. Let's see. Yes, sir. Made it this time. Ghosted Grave, thank you for making it. It is awesome to have you. Awesome to have each and every one of you here today. We're going to look at a couple of things. I got a couple of things in my mind here. Let's see. Hi, is there any Linux distributive that perfectly works for on the PS4 Pro? Let's see here. I'm going to bring up a web browser because we may need it for a couple of little things here today. So let me head over to my browser, and then let me jump into this. Let's see here. Let me go to my videos, and I will tell you the one that I have had the best luck with out of all of them. And that one is simply, let's see, I think that's it. Yeah, so it's actually this version of Arch Linux. Let me go to share. Actually, let's do this. So, as far as the easiest setup, in my opinion, was easily putting together this one right over here for Arch. I was about to say Larch. But yeah, this one, which is all about installing Linux. This one I didn't have any problems with, but I know others maybe have went in here and maybe they've given it a shot, and then sometimes they had some issues with that. But yeah, still pretty interesting stuff. This one I didn't have any problems with. All of the files are obviously still over here on this. I'm really glad that mute button just worked. And yeah, so this is the one that I was using. Let's see here. Burke. All Lappy shared a new icon mask version. Yes, that is very true. So let's go Lappy, and let's go over to. Okay, so Lappy is one of the developers that built PS4 Homebrew. I'm sorry, PS4 Explorer. Okay, I'm rusty at the moment, and as well as a bunch of other apps. So this one, PS4 Player, App Lock, and then PS4 Temperature, and then a few other like little things. So you're more than likely have been working with Lappy before, and also Lappy has been awesome because I've asked him questions and he has responded to me on the Twitter. So let's go into this. I did want to download this because I thought this may be a little bit interesting. Let's see, is this the latest version? So yeah, 1.01. And I'm just going to go in here and let's just pull this one down. We'll take a quick peek at this today. I don't know if anybody else has already taken a look at this so far, but it looked pretty cool, at least from the initial shots that I was looking at. So, and if you want to download this, then you can do so as well. and that's just over here on that URL. Okay, so that should be downloading, and then we can go from there. Let's see. Okay, so anyone tried Xlink Kai? Yeah, so Xlink, that's actually a really cool little thing too. So let me go here and let's go over here to this. So with this tool right here, you can basically play multiplayer games without having to, connect obviously to the PlayStation Network, right? So this is one of them. I think this one works a little bit better than probably some of the other ones because you don't actually have to set this up on your computer. Now, I just installed, well, I have a problem with it, but I just installed Call of Duty Vanguard on my PlayStation 4 here. So I don't know, it may be interesting to do. Nobody's been really doing videos of these because I'll tell you how these scenes kind of turn out. Here's how they turn out. All of a sudden, everybody's got, or everybody's talking about this is the latest and greatest thing. A couple of servers are shared. A couple of people jump into it. And then, a couple of weeks down the road, everybody's already forgot about it and they move on. I think it would be interesting, especially like inside of I don't know, maybe even our Discord, to be able to put something like this together where people could find folks that would like to play the same exact games as they're playing. I really like the game Worms. I don't know if anybody else has played that game, but the game Worms has I think it had the LAN multiplayer and a few other things. But yeah, it's just one of those tools. There's a bunch of those. Hello, Bartos SLEC from the UK. What's up? Let's see. PS4, they shared a week ago. Okay, thanks for the tutorials. Thank you, Ethel Monk, for watching. Please teach me how to install my updates in my external storage with app to USB. Well, you're in luck there, Mario, because I actually spent a bunch of time putting together this video, which is right here. This one. This one shows how to use the app to USB. And I've been putting in these chapter markers. Let's see. Let me adjust this microphone a little bit here. I've been putting in these chapter markers to hopefully help you find it a little bit better. So I think this one was the... oh, no, I was using the app dumper. So this is just dumping an app on a disk. But yeah, I have another video that's got on the other stuff in there too. Let's see, what else do we have here? Mud Runner. This game. This is the wonderful game that was used. It's honestly, it's just the biggest pile of junk I've ever seen in my life. But it was interesting that it did have the DLC that was already included on the disc. And well, I wish I could show you, but what I do after I buy games is that I usually put I keep the receipts and stuff with them. The total price, the total price that I paid for this thing. Here you go. Are you ready for it? Here's how much I paid for this game. Focus, maybe. 0.00 is how much I paid for this game. And that's mainly because I already had some, I have the yearly GameStop membership thing, where you get $5 in credit. And so I saw this game for $20, $20. And I really wanted this game because this is the game that lots of people were like, hey, this has got the DLC on it. It's kind of got a little bit of everything on it because it has the base game. It has a patch that's already on it, and it's got the expensive DLC that's also locked on it. So I really wanted this thing for the video. So it was $20. I went into the GameStop and I was like, hey, on your website, the price has dropped like temporary or whatever for like $5. They price matched their own website, and like there was another manager that was in the store, and it was like they were like thinking like it felt as if they were thinking that I was like stealing or something, because I'm like, go to their website on your own computer, like, because I had my phone and everything. Like, go check it out. Like, I'm not doctoring these photos. So anyway, I thought that was like pretty hilarious. Let's see. I think I see in the chat. I think I see Smash 8 Tap. Smash, what is up? How are you doing, friends? So those of you that don't know, Smash are actually Sarthik. I'm sorry if I messed up your name. Was a moderator of mine back in the ethical hacking days. So I used to do a lot of streams just on ethical hacking. So anyway, awesome to see you here. Thank you for hanging out here just for a moment or two with me. Okay, so let's see who else we have in here today. Guatemala. Hey, awesome, Mario. Let's see, been doing some cleaning and moving fake packages from my 5 terabyte external Seagate to 8. Need some more space. That's Bartos, Bartosz. Yeah, I feel you there. I just filled, actually, I had a smaller drive, which was a little 500 gigabyte drive that I was using to move some stuff around today. And again, I hit that limit. I do have a couple of 4 terabyte drives I'm going to be using in just a moment to rock and roll. It says, how do you cope with not having a PS5 when an exploit is around the server? That's a good question there, Leonard82. I tried to get one. I've really tried to get one. I couldn't get one through any of the traditional means of like sites or anything like that. I am 100% unwilling to pay the scalper prices for PlayStation 5. Just unwilling. I would pay retail prices, but I can't find one to pay retail. On the last stream last Sunday, a bunch of folks gave me a couple of Twitter accounts to go and follow. I don't know. I don't think that I'm going to spend that amount of time. I mean, if I'm willing to give them some money, for a console, then, I don't really want to jump through a million additional hoops. I mean, it's been well over a year since the console launched. People haven't been able to buy one, in stores for all of this time. So it's kind of like, I don't know. Here is where I think that it is, it's a bit difficult. And that's because for the most part, people that typically want to, or people that's already in the scene that wants a PlayStation 5 to maybe even advance the homebrew scene, they can't get one either. So I don't know too much about what's going to happen with that. Here's another question that I will pass off to each and every one of you. Is it too early? Really? Is it too early to get a PlayStation 5 jailbreak? So like the PlayStation 4, what is it? 8 years? It's getting it's getting fairly old in the console world. Let's see. I'm gonna just totally look this up right here. So PS4 release date was, let's see here. I think it's even longer than that. Okay, so wow. So the release date was actually November 2013. So you're really setting on a 9-year-old, console. 9 years. I mean, that's a pretty good time for a console to be around. And I think that a console that has been around for that time, that it is fine for it to have complete jailbreaks. Obviously, I've enjoyed PlayStation 3 with all of those jailbreaks. I've enjoyed the same thing, with my Wii console, my GameCube, and all those other things. But here is the sad, ugly truth. what most people want to do with these consoles isn't any of the homebrew scene. It isn't like running Linux. It isn't doing any of that other stuff. It's just for flat out piracy. Now, on my stream, as I think I've showed a couple of times, I have a massive game collection that I bought. And I'm more under or I have more of the feeling that I want to preserve games. Um, I want to preserve my consoles. So, backing up games and game discs that I own is a wonderful, wonderful thing to be able to do. My son, he could play those games, 20 years down the future when, these disk drives are no longer working anymore. The disk drives are not even active. So, I mean, that's a very real thing. That will happen. Then the other thing is that the game disc, they can always get broken, they can get scratched. There's all kinds of other things that can happen with it. I am starting to feel more under the appearance that we don't necessarily need, even though I would like it, a PS5 jailbreak right now. Now, again, a couple of years down the road, I'm all for it. If people would use it just for the homebrew stuff, that may be another thing too. And I know there's also some places, there's some, especially other countries, that games are not as affordable, or there are these crazy, ridiculous prices, which, go for it is what I say. And then also know that there's just some people that's just not able to pay for games, whatever their life circumstance is. Where I'm currently at, I'm in a part. Well, I've been in my full-time career. I've been working in the same industry for about 20 years. I work in technology. I don't necessarily I don't necessarily have a problem, paying, for games and things of that nature, unless it's Mud Runner 2 or Mud Runner American Wilds. And I got it anyway. Anyway, that's just my thoughts on some of those things. Let's see what everybody else is thinking. So let's see here. Let me go down into this and let's see. Doyle. Hey, Dole. Dole 4. Yeah, so we had a chat about that too. Yeah, it is a little bit too early. PS5's only had a couple of updates. No serious ones, such as new features, etc. Release it now, and that exploit is wasted. Let's see. Ethel Monk says, got a Walmart membership so I could get a PS5, and I got lucky and bought one. Yeah, so let me know how you can get one through Walmart. Is it going back and watching those Twitter accounts? So Doyle says, hold on to the exploit. If Sony finds a patch, release it. Holding on to it is the best, in my humble opinion, or in my opinion. Interesting. Do you follow Some Ordinary Games? Let's see. Is that like a... Oh, yeah, I know who that is. Yeah, I do know who that is. Yeah, I've known... I have watched some of his videos, but honestly, it's just not my style. But everybody else loves him, so yeah, so it's pretty interesting. Will upcoming games like God of War or Horizon come for the 9.00 jailbreak? I don't think we know the answer to that just right now. I don't think we know the answer to that. Obviously, just like there's been backports right now, the 9.03 release isn't that drastic or crazy. So, I don't know. It's a complete toss-up. And I will say that I have a 6.72 machine right now, and that machine absolutely, it's horrible trying to deal with backports. Thankfully, with some of the new methods, like I talked about, with like the Raspberry Pi, and then heck, even some of the stuff that's going on with these ESP 8266 chips, I probably won't have to. I probably won't have to worry about that. I have been thinking I've really been thinking about upgrading one of my other 6.72 machines to 9.00 because I'm just so tired of the whole like backporting thing. I have a couple of hard drives now that's got all my games on there, and you pretty much have to have like separate versions to run on those older consoles. Yeah, so I don't know. It's just not been. It's not something that I just care that much about. Let's see. Um, Amos says, "Do you know if I can save my games data after I shut down my PS4 with the PS2 game? If you can save your game data, game saves do work with PS2. So yeah, I don't know if you've seen, but like there's a couple of places on Reddit where people share and talk about PS2 games running on PS4, and yeah, the game saves work just fine, or at least I haven't heard of anybody having any problems with that." Burke says they're going to share for 4.03. It's 100% coming for sure. Just download the 4.03 update from Sony and wait. Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing it is going to come out. It does bring up a very interesting point, though, going back to if there is a current exploit in the system and you talk about it or it gets released now, that 2 years down the road, when the system's actually like mature, and let's just say that there's a bunch more games that's out, and then maybe games have now dropped into like the $10 range or something like that. Um, that would be a very interesting time to show the exploit versus right now. When in general, right now on the PlayStation 5, just in my opinion, there's just a whole pile of like older like games that they digitally enhanced or they upscaled it, for some of the better 4K like resolutions. This is a game that I bought a weekend ago. I paid, I think, $8 for this because it was in a damaged lot. As you can see, it has this top part broken off. Um, yeah, this game I would love to play. Again, I can't buy the system for it. But I do really do like Bethesda games. Let's see. I pulled this game out here recently too. Metal Gear Solid Definitive Edition, I think. Or what do they call this one? Yeah, Definitive Experience. Metal Gear Solid. Great game. You may know that right now I'm really enjoying, I'm really spending more time enjoying Unmetal, which is kind of like the spoof or the kind of the like making fun of that game. So, yeah, so pretty interesting there. Okay, so I asked because you said you want to preserve games. Let's see, Tom. Let me look back at. Oh, does he talk about that a lot? Oh, okay. So he talks about that. So PS4 games apps launch with the eBoot. What if we create a modified one that will load a SPRX like the PS3 mod menus that will lead to a permanent jailbreak? That is from Knife Pro. More than likely, Knife Pro people have thought about that and they've kind of went through that already. Uh, I think there's some other reasons that they can't do it. Obviously, I don't write any of the exploits, but I do use them. And for my time, like going back into like exploits and stuff, man, it goes back a long, long time ago. I have used a bunch of different aliases over the years. So since you're on the live stream, I'm going to show you one thing that I did a long, long time ago that I went by another name. So let me go get it. Hang on. Okay. I have this ready to go. Does anybody remember? Does anybody remember this brand? Hush Trap. Huh? What was the name? Let's see. I'm really not going to be able to show the mod chip that was in it, but see that mod chip that's in this one right here? I think it was Cube. QOOB, right? Well, this is from back in the GameCube days. I did a ton of testing for this thing. And tutorials. And so more than likely, if you were around in the GameCube day during that time, you read a bunch of my stuff. So anyway, I've had fun with like all the console stuff for like a very, very, very long period of time. Like I said, I have boxes of consoles, like crap that I have that I've just had kind of like lying around the house for a little bit. But if you do some GameCube stuff, let me know, because I had a blast during that time. Actually, I have had a really good time with all console modding stuff. I do have a couple of other like parts that I have got that I haven't used yet, but I've got a bunch of stuff now that's come in for the Xbox 360. So I got one of the new executor like flashing tools. So anyway, there's a bunch of cool stuff that's out there that recently I've got that I can't wait to check it out more of. Let's see. Richard says, hey, is game modding a thing, as I'm tempted to mod Skyrim on it? Yes, Richard. Game modding is absolutely a thing. Right now, it seems like Grand Theft Auto and then Red Dead Redemption is like the hot thing, right? Like, it seems like those two, like, there's like everybody modding them. But there's also a little bit of, I hate to say it, but there's also a little bit of people that are cheating and ripping off other creators that are making those mods. But yeah, modding is absolutely a thing. Let's see here. It says, if the jailbreak comes soon, Sony will earn more from the sales, not the exclusive games, because they're going to slow this gen. Well, they're selling the console at a loss right now. It took a long time before the PlayStation 4 was actually selling, and they were able to make money. Basically, the technology's got to get older, right? Before you can do more, before you can do a little bit better with that. Let's see, it says here, can you add the Game Dumper payload bin manually? Do you have a website link for that particular payload? Yes, you can run all of those payloads manually if you would like. So let's do this right here. And then let's switch over to this scene. Okay. And turn this controller back on. And payload guest is how I do that. So payload guest, this has all of the different payloads. So here is all the different types of payloads. So if you want to run these locally, then you absolutely can. So like FTP, there's one of the Game Dumper bins. And let's see, which one were you talking about there? Yeah, Game Dumper payload. So that's one of them. Yeah, according to what you want to do. But yeah, you can run all those just locally with payload guest. And then even as far as like running a host, the host scene, I'm not that big of a fan of it anymore. So I made, let's see. So I had a video that came out where I showed you how to like automatically build these bookmarks for the different hosts, and I was testing out some of these hosts. The PlayStation 4 scene has like come into like everybody makes a new host. Like go away from that. Like, it's time. If you've got $3 US dollars on you, get you an ESP8266 chip from AliExpress. You can get these again for $3 shipped, and I'm talking US currency. You can run the full server or the full host just on this thing right here. It doesn't have to be attached to your PlayStation 4 or anything like that. It's just a Wi-Fi. I'm talking about you're just using this if you just want to use this as a Wi-Fi host. But all of these sites, and this is my opinion, even including Caro and all these, like, be done with them. Like, just really be done with them. This is just, again, just my opinion. Like right now, like with my host, let's see, I haven't tested this in a while, so hopefully the site pops up because I haven't put this on in just a little bit. But yeah, so my last video, we talk about these Raspberry Pi Zero. So here's my Pi Zero. It's attached, and that's how mine has been set up. I think I just messed with the USB board. But you can run all of these payloads. Uh-oh. I better disconnect that. Or disconnect my other external USB. You should run all these payloads locally. So like right here is the payloads. All your gold hen, all the rest of these are all just stored here locally. And, just to show you a little something for the ESP8266 board. So let's see. I don't know if I've got enough power to run this one, but this little board, let me try this cable. I was having problems with this cable not too long ago. This ESP board right here, I'm just going to plug this into one of my extra USB ports. That may not get that one running simply because that's an older, or that cable is primarily used for just power. So I'll do this. It will break this version of it, but I think that's okay. All right. So I just unplugged my Pi because I need to use the cable. All right, I'm plugging back in my ESP8266 board here. So let's plug this thing back in. Hey, thanks for subscribing there, AMA. Actually, this is the first time I actually noticed that those things will work. Okay, so here this is. I just plugged this in just like 2 seconds ago. Now, if I come back over here, let's go to my settings here. Let's go into my network. Let's connect. Let's use Wi-Fi. Let's go into custom. That fast. This PS4 _MB is this ESP8266. That's it. So now hit this one button, and I didn't set up a password, or I removed that. The source code for this is freely available too. IP is going to be automatic. Do not specify. And then this is the primary DNS and secondary DNS. Man, I'm not sure if that's the right number or not. I don't know if that's the right one. That's okay. Let's do this. Go next, and let's go okay. Do not use. And let's see. This may or may not work. And let me go and let's go down to the web browser. It may be something dealing with cache. Or it could be something else. Let me just try something real quick. So let's go in here. Let's go into the settings. And let's delete the cookies. Let's delete the website data. Let's go back in here. And all right, it's definitely something that's wrong with the that IP address. So see. I was trying to show you something kind of fast, but I know it's taking a lot longer. I'm going back and trying to see if I can find the right IP address to put back in there. I've been messing around with it a little bit here lately. So that's why that didn't work. Let's go to this. Let's go to this one. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Got it. Okay, so yeah, of course it's not that easy. Okay, so let's go back into the network setup. Again, it is just this one little ESP board. We're going to Wi-Fi, and then we are going to go to custom. Once we go into custom, we're going to go to my PS4 and be crump, and then I'm going to go to the DNS settings here, and those are all just going to be the 10.1.1.1, and I guess I'll just go ahead and change this one. 1.1.1. Next. All right. Hopefully I don't have to change or clear the website data again. There we go. So here it is. As you can tell, this is kind of funny because the only one that I have on this one is just running the Goldian version 2.0 2B. Now, we could put in more payloads, obviously, but this is lightning fast. Like, this is always going to work. And it's going to work, and it's going to run super fast versus, going back into the current state of host and go into, bookmarks. Actually, I think I've got that DNS setting, so it will redirect anyway. But anyway, going into some of the current hosts. Okay, that was a long way of talking about that, but hopefully somebody got something out of it. Let's see here. Let me scroll down a little bit here. Lethal V3 is my favorite offline host. Yep. Yeah, I've seen the ESP. I'm going to get one anyway to connect the D1 Mini to the home router. I can't copy or install using FTP. Been using an external drive to dump my games. Interesting. Why? Because I cached that website while my console is connected. Here's the thing. Like, you can cache that website and you can be disconnected. But let me tell you, there's going to be some point somewhere along the line where even if you cache that website, the PS4 is going to flake out. I mean, this has just been my experience using PlayStation, that it would flake out. If you have one of these, again, $3, and you can get the micro USB cables probably out of a drawer somewhere in your house, you can 100% ensure you're always connected, and you can run your payloads, and it's just going to work every time. I would much rather load this very tiny web page with one payload and just have it work versus, be dependent upon that. Because remember, our console or your console is still at risk because you're still dependent upon somebody else's host in order to keep your PlayStation up and running, or to keep your PlayStation jailbroken. 5 years from now, let's just pretend 5 years from now, there isn't as many of those hosts, or maybe those hosts all get taken down from some sort of digital copyright or something. You're dependent on those hosts, and you're dependent on those hosts to be there. Self-hosting, and you don't have to do this. You can also self-host on just like a regular XAMPP server on your Windows machine or your Linux machine. But that's the way to go because it's just not ever having to be dependent upon anybody else. And with all of my jailbreaks for all of my various consoles, they don't need an internet. And the main thing is that I want to be able to have full control of my devices. So if I want to be able to update them, I don't want to wait on somebody else to put in the latest gold in, or I don't want to wait on somebody else to upload, a payload to it. It's your PlayStation 4, and I know this is like my soapbox. That's your PlayStation 4. It's your game disc, and you run your own server, regardless if it's that or back over here to like this wonderful little Pi Zero, which my green screen is making it a transparent Pi Zero. Nobody's got a transparent Pi Zero. I don't know. That's just my thoughts on all that. Let's see here. Let's see. Ghosted Graves says, "Hey, I watched your payload guest tutorial. For some reason, I'm missing Game Dumper." Oh, okay. So if you're missing the Game Dumper one, I will give you a link for that. So not only the Game Dumper, but the other thing is that all of those little icons that I just showed you, those icons are also available too. So you don't have to go out and figure out how to put all of those in there together. So I'm going to go and I'm going to look right here. And I think I've almost found it. Let's go to this one right here. And let's see. Double check that this one's even in here. B, C, D, E, F, G. Yeah, it's in here. So here is a link for you that should get you back up and running again. So let's go in here and I'll paste this one in there. So there you go. You should have it now. Let's see here. I have the same setup. Bartos, you have the same setup with your ESP? Yeah, it is. It's like insurance. And yeah, with AliExpress, if you're in the United States, a whole total of, $3 and you can get one. This says, right, the devices are more stable. What do you think about the PS5 emulator? Nicholas, I did see that PS5 emulator and it did look a little interesting. It had stated in there that it's at its super early stages. So yeah, pretty interesting. I don't know. I mean, there's really not going to be a good PS5 emulator, right? Not for a while. Here, I'm going to open a drink. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Platinum Hen. Easy Package Extractor. Thank you. Okay, so one thing I wanted to try while we're in here today is I wanted to give a shot to the to Lappy's latest and greatest, the icon mask tool. So what I will do is I'm going to go back to my network here. Let's see, set up. I'm going to connect back to one of my other networks. And then I want to give this new tool a shot and just see what it's like. Let's see, let's set this thing up. Come on. Okay. Okay. And let's go back to settings. All right. So let's go to our PC. Yep. Here we go. So at the beginning of this stream here today, I did mention that there was this new tool that came out that was from Lappy, and this is, let's see here, me refresh the screen. Let's go to this one. And let me go. Uh-oh. Thinking my OBS just locked up. Can you all still hear me? Testing, testing, testing. If you can hear me, then let me know. I think it just broke. You can still hear me? I'm guessing, though, you can't see my screen anymore. Okay, interesting.